What's up, guys? How's it going? This is Aiden with Father's Land Surveying. I am back at you with a video on how to do Civil 3D field to finish here. And it's the way we do it here at Father's Land Surveying. So let's get right into it. All right. So I have some templates here. Let's see here. What do we got? So let me navigate to my templates, browse templates, and this is all set up in the AutoCAD. So they come right to my folder on my server here. So I'm going to open this topo template new. Boom. It's got all my templates here. It's got my sheet. It's got all my logos, all my blocks, everything. All right. All right, so now we're going to take a look at this survey tab here. I'm going to use this survey tab. And let's see here. I'm going to work with this survey databases. So first thing I'm going to do is set working folder. Let me set the working folder to the job that I'm going to be doing here. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to work on the Walnut Ave. This is a record boundaries. This one should be pretty easy here. So I put it in the survey tab, select folder. So one thing too, real quick, is to get your settings set up here. If you guys need help on getting the settings set up, you could just comment, send me a comment on YouTube, and I can show you guys how to do that. But all my stuff here is pre-selected. Here's my SBD settings, my database settings. So you got to make sure you get that right. Make sure your units are right. It took me a while to figure that out. Just double check when you're importing the points in the survey tab, and go ahead and import the points as a text file PNEZD when you first do this, to double check to make sure your units are all right. Your line work, when you explode your line work and process your line work, you want to make sure your points land right on top of your line work. So, and you wouldn't know that unless you double checked everything. So over here, I got all my stuff. It's all pre-established here, the way we do things. So I'm gonna double click here, and let's see, what job is this here. This is 26104. So I'm gonna put in here 26104 F2F. Hit enter. Okay, come over here, import events, import survey data, point file here. Let's see here. Let's do this here. 2026 104 Walnut Ave. Let's see here. 104 Walnut Ave. Let's go survey. Let's go downloads. Topo and boundary. I think that's both days, hopefully. So put the text file right in there. Again, all this stuff here, import option, this is all pre-selected. Let me know if you guys need help with that. So insert figure objects, yes. Process line work, yes, based on my prefix databases and my line work code set. Go to finish. Boom, look at that. Whole thing comes in really well here. These are all the DIs, I'm guessing. So you go like this, survey points, insert to the drawing. Boom, look at that. Lower the scale. Yep, those are all the DIs. Shows you where they connected. They do connect. Okay, looks pretty good already. So wow, this guy found some IPs. Cool. That's cool. Cool stuff here. So I'm gonna save that. Control S and navigate to the right folder. 26104 bases. You can call this one the master. Okay. So a couple of things. One thing we need to make sure here, and this is more for the Father's Land Surveying staff, you got to know what the job was set up, how it was set up, whether it's grid. You know, most of the time we use GPS, so we set up GPS. We hit these centerline monuments. Uh, Set a magnet washer there. We hit these centerline monuments, and then we rotate and find the boundary stuff pretty easy like that. So what I'm gonna do here, and oh, so then you have to. That's important because we want this stuff. We want this topo stuff to be on NAVD 88, and the only way to do that is to either have a corrected, GNSS measurement by being on the CRTN network, or we need to post process. So a lot of the times, I'll toss it into TBC, Trimble Business Center. I'll toss in my raw data. I'll post process it myself real quick, and I will just import my. I'll just toss in my total station data, and it snaps right on there real well, and I can check the anomalies. So you know what? This will be a bonus here. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll show you guys. We'll do that workflow right now. So let's see here. So let me open up a TBC project. Let's see. Let's open up. Let's open up TBC. Let's see. Where's TBC? Let's see. Trimble Business Center. Okay. Let that load. It's going to take a second to load, so I'll pause this video. Okay, I got TBC open here. Let's see, let's get a new project going. These are all my templates here. So this is zone 3. I know we use GPS out there, so I got my default set up to zone 3. Alright, so now I go over to my folder here, survey downloads. Let's see, we got the files here. These files come straight from the data collector. So we're going to jump these in. You just highlight the TO2 is from the that's the R12, or actually the R10. That's the base. That's the base file, TO2 capital. And the TO4 is the rover, the R12I. So you dump that in there. Wait a second. All right, so we got the base was set up for, that's number 1. Usually that's the TO2. 1 is usually the base. And I know they did a here position. This is why this ties back to what I was talking to you guys about the post-processing. A lot of the times I just tell my guys to throw up a base real quick and just put a here position. So that's an autonomous solution. It's not a fixed solution. It's, within 10 feet or so, and it needs to get processed with other fixed coordinates. So that's looks like what they did here, because you'll see if they did have a coordinate from the CRTN network, usually it comes in as RTCM. So here we got, let's see what we got here. We got the TO2 file, we got the base, it's up for 3 hours. We got a rover shot, 2 minutes, TO4, another rover shot for 2 minutes, one for 3 minutes. Looks good, okay? Just import that stuff there. Boom. Yep, so looks like it was just a here position. So let's hit number 1. See, number 1 is control quality. That's because that's the base station, but we need to process that base station. So we don't really know what the fixed coordinate is there. So we got to change it to unknown quality. All right, and so what we do is start putting in some core stations. Oh, it doesn't like my license, so it's going to sign in my Trimble ID. Sure. This happens because I work from different computers. Sometimes I work from home and it signs me out. So pause it for, oh, never mind. So thanks for bearing with me there. Let's apply that subscription here, online subscription. All right, let's try it again. Internet download. I have these reference sites pre-selected that I made as well. This was in Marin County. This is usually the closest stuff here. Tiburon usually is a good one, a good go-to course site. See the cores Tiburon. These are downloaded from the TBC has a cool thing where you can download these cores websites. Really cool feature. So there's my raw unprocessed baseline from my course site to all my other data here. So let's get the next one here. Let's get P181. It's in Richmond. All right, import that. All right. Let's get P224. I don't like alone. Never really works. The alone core station. All right, that one's farther out there. Let's see if we get some up north. Let's get Petaluma in there, just because we want a nice triangle in between everything. Okay, there you go. So now I want to get one over here. Usually Farallon Island's got a good one there. It's kind of off to the side here. Okay, cool. So now we have nice processing here, a nice triangle in between our data here. So now let's go to process baselines, and this is going to take a minute. If you have not a powerful computer, it'll take a while. You can hear my computer's already kicking in gear. The fans are coming on pretty loud. So I'm going to pause the video here and we'll show you all the results. All right, pause it. All right, guys, back here. So let's look at some of this info here. So these are all your horizontal vertical precisions and your RMS root mean square values. They all look really good, really under a tenth, nothing flagged. So I'm gonna go ahead and accept all that. That looks really good. Hit save, boom, all those blue ones, those dark blue, that's all our process vectors here. So I'm gonna do another thing here. I'm gonna show you guys what I like to do is first of all, I'm gonna least squares this thing. So adjust network, and it pulls all my control quality coordinates and least squares them against my control quality, which are these base stations, which these core stations, which are really my control. So adjust that, hit yes. Okay, got some failed. So, but that's not too bad. The reference factor should be as close to 1 as possible. So it looks like there's a couple little over a tenth or something errors, and that's because let me show you these project settings here. Let me pause the video for a second. Yeah. All right, so that's didn't pass because of our tolerances here. So go to your project settings, default standard errors. Let's go GNSS. 200s is pretty tight. So let's go 1500s. Let's go 1200s. Vertical error, it's usually within probably 15 as well. And let's hit OK. So now let's adjust that. And oh, it failed as well. Oh, yep, that's because I got to go back here, guys. Go to the default, go to the project settings here. Go project settings, GNSS. Let's go to project settings. Baseline processing. Solution type fixed. Quality, here we go, if horizontal. So that flags it. Network adjustment. Covariance display, transformation, default standard errors. All these are project settings. Azimuth, default standard area 1 second. Point, let's take that to 1 second. Confidence level display. Yeah, let's go 95%. Let's see what that does. Okay, so I was playing around with this a little bit. Just ignore that. A lot of times we change the weighting, the weighting to match, so you can get this chi square test to pass. Then it passes. So I'm gonna process this once I get all my total station data as well. All right, so let me show you guys another thing that I do here. I go to, if I want to double check this stuff in Opus, so let me go to here. There's a cool Trimble processor that does it all for you. So we just grab our TO2 file, our base station file, and we drag it right in there. Okay, give it a second. Okay, so it's successfully uploaded here. Let's hit next. All this stuff is already pre-done from the raw data to 2.05. That's 2 meter fixed height rod with a, with the calculates this stuff already from the raw data. Like I said, from the bottom of the quick release. Next, we're gonna go Opus. Hit next. Email address. Put your email address in there. It's gonna send it to Opus for us, which is really cool. All right, you should receive the email with processing results soon. All right, so I'll go ahead and pause it, and I'll show you once we get the Opus solution back. Okay, guys, we got our Opus solution back. That was pretty quick. It looks like this, and you can calc all that stuff here if you want. Or we can do this cool thing here where you download this XML file. So let's download that. Let's open it up. Oops. Download it, open the folder there, and we're going to drag this puppy right in here. Observation file. Cool. Alright, so it came right in there. So we can see how close the Opus is to our own Opus. So that's about 1200ths horizontal distance and about 300ths vertical, which is really good. What happens if I adjust this here? Let me adjust it. Let's fix the weighting. Yes. Okay, so now let's check it. Shouldn't move very much. So now it's a 10th and 400ths the other way, which still good. Everything looks good. Maybe I'll save this here as 10,001 code would be Opus, just so we have it there. So that's pretty nifty. I really like having that in there as a check. So all right, so now we have our data here. We can go ahead and we can clear this. Let's go ahead and clear this. So now I want to bring in my total station stuff here. So it'll snap right on these process points here. So this is Walnut. Download, and you just need this JXL file here. You can export that from the data collector, and we always do. Drag it in there. Let's keep the existing project definition. Okay, and it's got all these to merge, these point pairs, which they're off. That's fine. So we're gonna merge them, and it should merge everything. So really close. Looks like it's, we got a little bit different between the total station and the GPS, but GNSS, but that's okay. Really close stuff here, only off by maybe a few hundredths or so. Vertical's also really good. Pretty consistent vertical difference, 2.22, 2.23, 2.23. So this one's a little off, but I like it. All right, boom. We import that there, and it snaps right on our points, just how we like it. And let's see, yep, we got 6. So now let's see here. Let's adjust it. Let's remove all our anomalies here. Let's delete those. We can delete. We don't really need this. Well, let's keep this here. It's probably what's It's out of tolerance. It's probably what's kicking our least squares. What's Fari? Oh, that's Farallon Islands. Yeah, maybe Farallon Islands wasn't a good. Looks like Farallon Islands wasn't the best. It throws it off a little bit vertically, but that's okay. That's probably what's throwing our least squares off a little bit. But that's okay. It's probably not the best one. Now let's adjust it. Yes, I want to continue. Results still pretty close here. Let's go to 0.65. These RTK vectors. See, it averages even the RTK vectors. Yeah, let's adjust that. So we got a little bit of slop. So it looks like it passed just very well here, just fine. Okay. Yeah. So now we can take a look at all our points here that really moved, which only ones that are going to be moved is our GNSS ones, and very minimal movement here. So, and I like to keep the opus in here to check. Center that one. Or there it is. So we can. So there you go. Yeah, post-processed. It's only off by 1100s and 400s vertical, so I like that. So that's how you do that, guys. So now I'll go ahead and save this project, save as, so we can come back to it if we need to. We have a record of it. Survey, downloads, post-process. This is 26-104. And we'll just call it post-process GNSS. So these should all be on grid here and NAVD88, which is what we need. All right, so that's saved. Now we're just going to highlight all these points. Click the first one and shift down to there. Okay, give it a second. Hit the home, let's hit export. Okay, custom PNE ZD point northern easting elevation code. Let's navigate to the folder here on our server. 26104 survey downloads, post process, and we'll go ahead and put post process GNS. That's fine. Okay, hit export. Okay, it's exporting all those points there. All right, so move this off to the side. We can save this one here. Control S. So I'm actually going to remove from the drawing. Remove all that from the drawing. I'm actually going to delete this because now we have the latest and greatest process data. So hit next, plus that's the raw data. We'll go survey, downloads, post-process GNS. So another thing to actually, before I do that, let me show you guys. Another thing you got to be worried about when you export from Trimble Business Center is if the crew deletes any points, and I can already see they did. If they delete points, they still show up here, so I can see what they delete. I can see what's going on in the field. If why are they deleting so much? What's going on? You guys, why are you unsure of yourselves? Are you making a lot of mistakes? What's going on? Are you going too quickly? So kind of a lot of deletes here. Or you're doing a lot of DR shots where they're not looking good. So quite a bit of deletes here. So you actually got to go line by line and delete these. There may be a setting somewhere in TBC to not export the deleted ones, but I haven't found that yet. I haven't really taken the time to do that yet. Could probably reach out to support and they could probably give me an answer really quickly. So there you go. no blank files, because those won't import. No blank lines. Those will skip all your import points in Civil. All right, save. Okay, so now let's import events. Oops. Import survey data. Next, plus post-process GNSS. PNEZD. Next. Showed that to you guys already. All this stuff. Boom. Comes in exactly the same. All right, so what we're gonna do here. So these are survey figures. These are survey figures. They come in as survey figures. We don't really care about survey figures. I guess they're kind of cool if you want to use them. They work. You could also use them as polylines, but I just want to keep things simple. I haven't really explored too much on the survey figures because I just know polylines, but they're easy to work with as well. So this will be my 2D drawing. So I highlight all this stuff here, and I go to explode X and enter. So now those become 3D polylines. So, but we're doing just the 2D master drawing now. So I'm gonna highlight all these and I'll go modify 3D to 2D. Select all those again, elevation 0. I'm gonna flatten everything. The reason I do that is because I want everything to be flattened like this. See on this flattened plane? Because that's just how we do things. We want the line work not to be elevated, and because it looks weird. We want it all be flattened for the 2D map, because we're making a 2D map. Okay, so let me get out of there. All right, now I'm gonna points insert to the drawing. Now I Control S and save this master now. So you can see these points. These points are elevated here. You can kind of see the terrain, and the 3D will show all the contours of that. So, okay, all right. So that's pretty much how you do the 2D. So and we'll come back to that. I'll do another video, basically me drafting the whole thing. So let's add another plus here. So that's also another way to get to my templates. So now we're going to do the same thing. Right click on our imported post-process point here. Actually, sorry, take that back. So since we have a record boundary here, let me think how I want to do this. Sometimes I'll add in LiDAR, and I think this one actually I will have to add in LiDAR because the crew only got what they could. So so let me do this. I'm gonna go ahead and xref. Let me open up the hard copy. All right, so that's the master. Before I go to the 3D, I'm gonna show you guys the boundary resolution here. Let's open up this hard copy, and let's go to this model space here. Now let's insert our points. These I just import these as actual points, Kogo points, not from the survey tab on my hard copy because I treat that differently. So let's see, post-process GNS. Okay, so there's all my points. And let's see here. Let me reduce the scale. All right. So yeah, it looks like I may have to piece in some LiDAR, some county LiDAR. So here's the boundary. I'll show you guys the boundary is from 26 survey research. Boom. So here's our boundary. It's our record boundary. So they got these two Monwells there. The crew located those. I'll probably just, that's his base bearing, so I'll probably just hold this one and rotate to this one. So let's do that. Let's move. Let's hold there. Hit RO. Select it. I right click. Selects a base point. I select that. Hit reference. Hit R. My reference is from here. My endpoint to my endpoint, and I want to rotate it over to this guy. Looks like pretty darn tight. Looks like 4,000's pretty good. All right, let's see how these guys hit. Looks like they're hitting really well as well. That's 600s off. That's a tenth off. Looks really good. Looks like under fence junction something happened here. That's half a foot off. Probably a bad shot. Let's see here. That one's 1300s off. Not bad. Found brass tag and nail. Search for not found here. Okay. So why is the BRKs coming in weird? Cool. All right. So now I got my boundary on here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll put in some county LiDAR for this stuff. Maybe even out here. So I'm gonna leave it on grid for now. Okay. So now my boundary's in. So let me actually hit D. That's my shortcut for ungroup. Let me put my boundary on the subject boundary layer. Looks like it's just one big curve, so I'll have to break this curve here. So let me actually break this arc. Is this, so that's not an arc. Yeah, it is. So that's an arc there. So I'll need to break it here. Put at the end point. Lengthen. Bam. Bam. Alright, so that's my endpoints. Okay, and that's going to be on the subject boundary layer. Subject property. Okay, and that trick right there, guys. I just clicked it. You click here. You type SW. If you type it fast, SUBJ, you can navigate right to the layer really quickly. Let's say if I want to put it on centerline layer, I just type CMT and I just hit enter and it goes right on there. So that's a really cool trick. SUBJ, enter, boom. So it's a really quick way to do it. Looks like they guys got a lot of shots in here. I'm gonna save this. And I don't need these points in here, so I'm actually going to select all these and delete them for now. I didn't move them. Control S, so now it's just a plain old hard copy with boundary lines in it. Save that. Now this master, I'm going to XREF it in. I'm going to XREF that boundary line in here. So 26104. Or XREF that hard copy in there. Okay, I don't need this image, so I could just delete it. Go back to right click. I can go to open XREF, and I can just get rid of that. All right, don't need that image in there. Reload the master. Boom. Okay. All right, so now let's do the 3D. So we go back to our drawing here. Go back to our survey tab. Let's go to process line work. Okay. So let me delete these. And we're doing the same thing with these survey figures. We'll explode them. But now we'll keep them as 3D polylines. Okay. Then we'll insert our points right here from the survey points. Insert the drawing. Control S. And we will save that as 3D. Right, we could change the scaling as we need to. Cool. All right, so basically that's all I wanted to show you guys is how to get the master going. Let's see, how to get a 3D going. I showed you a little bit how to get the hard copy. The other stuff I'll do another video on actually how to draft, how to start drafting the 2D and how to start drafting the 3D. And I have a video already of bringing in county LiDAR, so I don't think I'll have to do that for you guys. But let me know if you need another video on it, and I'll go ahead and post it. All right, thanks for watching.